Good afternoon. It's the day of the Lord. We're alive and well. He's made his praises glorious, and we are the praises that he's made glorious. So we're his glorious praise in the earth, and with the fruit of our lips we give him praise. I'll let some of you get on and before I begin. Excited about what God is doing, and I'm really excited about all that he's unfolding. You know, the worst place to be is where God used to be. And so realizing that truth is progressive and that there is a present truth of what God is declaring in the earth now. And not to stay because grandma used to preach it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's still relevant truth for today. So we are, as a people, awakening and arising to a new day and to a new understanding as God is beginning to unfold yet another aspect of himself. I like to take an example of like I get a towel and I fold it 4 or 5 times. You know, I fold it in half, I fold it half again, till it's little bitty. And God just... He'll take a time in earth and he'll unfold himself in a manner, in a way. And then he'll unfold himself again and he'll unfold himself again. And he continues to unfold himself until you begin to see him in fullness. And so I am really encouraged to see and be able to be a part of that unfolding in the earth of the fullness of all that he has for us. Because if you're like me, I've come through a lot of stratas or a lot of places or a lot of moves of God and came out of Pentecost and came through the Word of Faith movement and then came through Bob Mumford and Ern Baxter and then I came, then it came through the kingdom and now we're coming into a new fresh awareness of the fullness of God in a yet a greater measure. And so seeing that revealed not just to us but in us is a wonderful thing, because if he's revealed to us, I can see it, but when he's revealed through us, others can see it through us. And so it is really a wonderful day. And it is a great place to be when you know that he is awakening you and enlightening your eyes to see more of him in yet a greater place. So today we're going to talk about the Lion and the Lamb. And this is a song, I've never recorded this song. This is, I don't know, I wrote it a few years ago and I know when it was copyrighted. It was in 13, copyrighted it, but I have not recorded this song. And the aspect of this song is that there is the rulership and there is the relationship aspect of our walk in God. Because when I talk about the tabernacle of Moses, I don't know if you know anything about the tabernacle of Moses, but the Lamb side or the redemption side is when we're approaching the throne of God and we're walking up the tabernacle. But the ruler side of God is when we have arisen and have sat in the throne and now looking out to creation, delivering creation from the throne room. So there is the relationship aspect of God, but all rulership flows out of this relationship. And so we have to understand that it's the Lion and the Lamb. It's that the Lamb is the one that is the redemption side, and the Lion is the rulership or the dominion side of the kingdom. And as when we're approaching the throne, we're walking in our experience toward the mercy seat, and we're approaching and we're looking to him and worshipful before him. We're facing him, but when we arise as rulers and we arise and sit in the throne, then we're looking out toward creation to deliver them with the words of our mouth. And so this little song kind of depicts that, the relationship and the rulership side. The Lamb is the relationship side, and the Lion is the rulership side, because roar out of Zion is what we do. We begin to decree and roar out of Zion. Why do we roar out of Zion? To make a loud noise? No. We roar with the words of our mouth to decree and to speak life into creation, because now as the Lion, we're seated in the throne, we're looking up to creation to deliver them with the words of our mouth, because some people can't appropriate for themselves. If they're children, they can't appropriate, and if they're adolescents, sometimes they can appropriate, they don't know how. And so us as the full-grown mature ones arise to help others to appropriate. So this song goes like this. Who rules the earth with the roar of the Lion, who views the world through the eyes of of the Lamb to bring us to the understanding of what the blood did for us. Because we were alienated in our mind, Jesus had to go to the cross to redeem us, to show us that he has totally eradicated. There had to be a reconciliation of all we thought we had done wrong, all the sin we thought we had to do, we had done, and all the unjust things we thought we were. And so the lamb, the blood of the Lamb eradicated and brought that to a naught and brought it to a zero balance. So there was nothing left on our account, on our charge to sin-wise. Now we're free from that. We are a people who now walk free from sin. We don't have to sin. It's not our portion to have to sin. We don't do that anymore. It's not our lot. It's not who we are. It has nothing to do with us now. We don't identify with Adam. We identify with Christ. He's the one that's living and reigning in us. So let's sing the song. Who rules the earth with the roar of the lion? Who views the world through the eyes of the Lamb? Who loosed the seals when no one was worthy? Who prevailed when none was found? There's a song. Who rules the earth with the roar of the lion? It's the overcomer. It's us. Who views the world through the eyes of the Lamb? We do. We view the world as seated in heavenly places. We see the world with the Lamb's eyes. In Revelation, they have it sees with 7 eyes. That just means not 7 eyeballs. It just means that you see through a perfection of seeing all men in Christ, because we see through the eyes of the Lamb. So, who rules the earth with the roar of the lion? Who views the world through the eyes of the Lamb? Who loosed the seals when no one was worthy? Who prevailed when none was found? Under one crown, the lion and the lamb. Under one crown, behold the great I am. Judah's lion is exalted, Zion's lamb now sits enthroned. As one they rule together, the lion and the lamb. So it's the relationship aspect of the Lamb and the rulership aspect of the lion that rule together from the throne room, from the throne seat called the mercy seat. And we look at the world through the eyes of the Lamb. But we declare to the world with the mouth of the lion. The mouth of the lion declares and decrees with dominion. We have the voice of dominion. We have the scepter. We wear the crown. We're the kings in the earth. The priest side is the Lamb side. The king side is the rulership side that has dominion. When God, right out of the chute, God tells Adam to have dominion and multiply, replenish the earth, and subdue it. And to have the dominion, not take dominion. We're not trying to get something. We have the dominion. And so because we have dominion, the dominion that was given, we appropriate that dominion with the words of our mouth, beginning to decree what is finished with the eyes of the Lamb. So we see with the eyes of the Lamb, and we speak with the mouth of the lion. And it's the lion and the lamb, the priest and the king ministry together as one, that declares in the earth and transforms the world with the words of our mouth, because we see with the eyes of the Lamb. Who rules the earth with the roar of the lion? Who views the world through the eyes of the Lamb? Who loosed the seals when no one was worthy? Who prevailed when none was found? Under one crown, the lion and the lamb. Under one crown, behold the great I am. Judah's lion is exalted, Zion's lamb now sits enthroned. As one they rule together, the lion and the lamb. As one they rule together, the lion and the lamb. I just have a few scriptures that talks about dominion, because last night I spoke at church at Emmanuel Fellowship, and I talked about dominion, the dominion aspect of the lion and lamb principle, realizing that the lamb is the priest side, that brings God to men and men to the people and awakens their understanding. And then the Lion decrees out of Zion to see everything that is finished. We appropriate and we ratify with the words of our mouth. We export the things, the goods that God has inside of us. We begin to export that to creation. The purpose of man in rulership is to deliver creation with the words of our mouth. And the purpose of the Lamb in creation is to love and embrace and bring them to the understanding of the awakening of Jesus Christ in their life. And so I've just got a few scriptures and then we'll sing it again. I like this. Philippians 3:20 says, "For our conversation is from the heavens, from whence we look." We look at things from a heavenly viewpoint. We don't look at things from an earthly viewpoint. You can peck around with the turkeys and the chickens, or you can fly with the eagles. And it's up to you. You have to just determine where you're going to see and view your life from. Are you going to view it from a downward viewpoint, or are you going to look from a heavenly viewpoint like the eagle? Another one is, I like Job 22:28. I really like this one. It says, "Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy way." So thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established. Who's going to be doing the decreeing? We're going to be doing the decreeing. Because I think we have set, the church has been, we have not been empowered. We have been lethargic, and we have been just weak and sick and puny because we have not discerned the Lord's body. We have not understood that we are the body of Christ in the earth. When he said, when he took the cup and the bread, and he said, "Take this cup, it's my blood, and take this bread that is my body." He said, "And do it in remembrance of me." He said, he didn't say do it in remembrance of your sin. He said, "Do it in remembrance of me." That we're remembering him who was the Lion and the Lamb, who was the one that redeemed man for the purpose of ruling and reigning. So what would be the purpose of redeeming man if there wasn't a purpose for us in the earth to rule and reign? So it's the Lion and the Lamb, both aspects together. The Lion is the dominion side, and the Lamb is the relationship side. And both sides together, they rule under one crown. And we rule from that mindset of being seated in the mercy seat. We're seated in heavenly places all the time. You don't come down off of the throne. You go to Walmart, you're on the throne. Wherever you go, you're on the throne of God. You're in the mercy seat. You are permanently parked there. That is your portion. That is your lot. Who rules the earth with the roar of the lion? Who views the world through the eyes of the Lamb? Who loosed the seals when no one was worthy? Overcomers. Because he prevailed for us, now that makes us prevailers, and we makes us overcomers, because we are now awakening to the reality of the fact that we have all things in us. We lack no good thing. We're not waiting for God to put something on us. We're not waiting for him to come down. We're not waiting for mercy drops. We are realizing that we house the fullness of Christ, God, in us bodily. It's in here. All we have to do, we see we look out with our the eyes of the Lamb, and we begin to export with our mouth, and we begin to decree all things that are finished, regardless of what it looks like. It's not determined by how it looks. It is determined by how he finished it, and he finished it complete and sure. And there is nothing that we lack. And so we as overcomers, we have a purpose and a destiny. And our purpose and destiny is to go into the whole earth and fill the whole earth with the glory of the Lord. And glory is not blue smoke in the corner. Glory is just means Christ in us, the Spirit of God in us, seen throughout the earth. And that's what glory is. Who rules the earth with the roar of the lion? Who views the world through the eyes of the Lamb? Who loosed the seals when no one was worthy? Who prevailed when none was found? Under one crown, the lion and the lamb. Under one crown, behold the great I am. Judah's lion is exalted, Zion's lamb now sits enthroned. As one they rule together, the lion and the lamb. As one they rule together, the lion and the lamb. Now I encourage you today that if you would go into your life and just begin to see where you can export the goods of the kingdom, because we live out of the spiritual resource called Christ that is in us. And we're not waiting for a rapture. We're not waiting to die and go to heaven to receive this. We receive this because we have the Spirit and the life of Christ in us. It's inherent in us. It's in there. It's like Prego. It's in there, and it ain't going anywhere. God doesn't leave when you go too fast on the highway. He doesn't jump out. And when you go outside the church doors, you don't leave him at church and you go home without him. You go. He's with you. He's with you all the time. Is not my help within me? And he stays in there. And he doesn't get mad and upset and leave when you do something wrong or you say a wrong word. The reality is he loves you and he embraces you. And so it is a great day in the kingdom. So you, as a lion, roar out of Zion with the words of your mouth and begin to speak and decree the good things that you desire. What is it you want in your life? You lack nothing. He didn't leave anything out. He gave us everything. And we don't have to wait for God to come down here and do it. I like to think it this way. We all have the same 24 hours to rule every day. We all have the exact same time frame. Everybody has the same 24 hours. Either you rule those 24 hours or those 24 hours will rule you. And so we as overcomers, we do not sit and whine and complain. We arise out of the dust realm and we arise and sit in the mercy seat and realize that he has called us to rule and reign in the earth. We have dominion. So I wrote a post the other day, is God in charge or do you have dominion? And, I don't know how you feel about that, but I recognize that the purpose for us in the earth is to be large and in charge of the earth. And I think some of the reasons why the earth is in the shape it is in is because the church has been lazy and we did not arise to rule the earth. We haven't been the church, the powerhouse in the earth. We have sat and watched the world do their thing, and we just I don't know what we're going to do. God, you got to do something about this. And God's saying, I want you to do something about this. I want you to rule and reign it. I want you to rise and be the answer to creation in the earth, because you are a savior and a deliverer in the earth. That's what you're for. That's what you do. That's your purpose. I'm going to sing it one more time. Who rules the earth with the roar of the lion? Who views the world through the eyes of the Lamb? Who loosed the seals when no one was worthy? Who prevailed when none was found? Under one crown, the lion and the lamb. Under one crown, behold the great I am. And Judah's lion is exalted, Zion's lamb now sits enthroned. As one they rule together, as one they rule together, as one they rule together, the lion and the lamb. Now I want to encourage you to go into your world and change it. I want to encourage you to be the lion and roar out of Zion. You are the rod that comes out of Zion. You are that rod, that rulership, that dominion, that power. That you are the one that has that rod, that staff. And we have the crown on our head, not the crown of thorns, but we have the crown of grace and power on our heads. And we wear the robe of righteousness. And so we're fully clothed as kings to rule the earth. Now remember that the redemption, the relationship that we have with Jesus and with our Father is the outflow of that is our rulership, that we rule out of our relationship. Now, it's a great day to be alive in the kingdom, and I hope you go, and I hope you, every place the sole of your foot treads, He's given you as kingdom of power, and given you kingdom territory. And this is your day to arise and rule. And either you're going to rule it, or it will rule you. And so today's a good day for you to awaken to that reality. I don't know if there's any more of the scriptures that I wanted to read you or not. Let me see. No, I think that'll be it. That'll do it. Because you're kings, you've been empowered. All you need is the Spirit of Christ and willingness, and be bold as a lion. You got to be bold as a lion. Why does the lion have to be bold? Because he has to rule with his mouth. And he has to speak things when it's not popular. And he has to begin to decree things in the midst of adversity. And he has to stand up when it's not popular. And be that voice in the earth and begin to change your world, change your circumstance, and change your life with the words of your mouth. So thank you for listening to me today. I appreciate you. I love you guys. And you can, when I post this on my page, I would appreciate it if you would share it, help me get the word out. That would be great. And remember that you were created for greatness, and that you were created to rule the earth, and you do that with the words of your mouth. So roar out of Zion. You be bold as a lion. I love you.